So today I was editing some translations from Figure King magazine issue number 296, the latest issue for this month, straight from Japan. And while I was editing the Nitro Convoy Override segment, it started to dawn on me how, there is way more Cybertron toys than we thought this year, or Galaxy Force toys coming from the Legacy line. And the article pretty much was like pointing out, hey, we got Megalo Convoy, aka Cybertron Metroplex, on his way as a Titan class. We got, during Siege, we got the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, aka Galaxy Force Optimus Prime. Through Generation Selects, we even got Hotshot, his EDC form and everything. So more and more we seem to be getting those Galaxy Force characters. And I've said for many years, Galaxy Force is like in my top 5 favorite Transformer series, just because there's so many cool designs and stuff. And ultimately, in the end, one of my favorite characters in Nitro Convoy ended up becoming a figure. So, hey man, a lot of cool stuff going on there. So essentially, it kind of started this conversation, and then I just started going like, what else would we like to see from the Cybertron line? Because in the Unicron trilogy, of the 3, in my opinion, Galaxy Force, aka Cybertron, easily is the best of the 3 in terms of toys and engineering. And I'd even argue so much to say that in a lot of ways was kind of the early genesis of what would be like classics, because there's a lot of figures in that line that could in a lot of ways be classics versions of those characters. And in a lot of ways, those molds were used in classics in universe to kind of represent some characters at one point. Just shows how good they were. And not to mention, were used with Bakan for many years also to represent those classic characters in a more Generations kind of flavor before they were updated. So who would we like to see? And so I kind of put a little logical list together. And I mean, if you have any of yours, who would you like to see added? Comment below. Give your reasons why you think it would work. Especially try to tackle it from a business and logical manner of why it would make sense, and not just a personal thing. But some that I felt probably wouldn't fit in if we had more Galaxy Force Cybertron figures, let's say next year. Scourge was one of those that I kind of put off the list, aka Flame Convoy, the dragon leader character from the Beast Planet, or Animatros, as it was called in Galaxy Force. I felt that he, as much it would be cool to get a new figure of him and a new update and stuff, I feel that he doesn't fit in next year, because we're going to have Rise of the Beast. We're going to have that name Scourge attached to another big name character, and there's going to be probably plenty of product with that Scourge trademark on it. So we don't really need that now, but I could definitely see it in the future, but just next year, probably not. Not really something I could see. And also, none of the big boys, the King Starscream and the Primus, those ones I feel especially the Primus, that's a HasLab item. I at the end of the day, I don't want that to be retail. I think it has to be a HasLab item. And I know people are, touch and go recently with HasLab and a lot of the drama that's been going on and how they've been overcharging for a lot of stuff. But I just feel that unless we could get a really decent Supreme figure that would have, an honest budget, I want something that's kind of in that Unicron. I know that there's people that don't have that kind of money, but I just want, if I want the planet Cybertron, I want it done right to mirror my Unicron figure. So those ones I kind of pushed aside, but let's jump into those. Let's see, because now that I got Nitro Convoy would have obviously been my number one answer, aka Override. But now that that's been done, who would we like to see next? So I have a short little list here, and then you could kind of give your takes and what you think also. Here's one, Overhaul, aka Jackshot from Galaxy Force. Overhaul was that little green Jeep kind of vehicle there. I just feel that, number one, the trademark could be brought back, could be used with other characters. Number two, I feel from a mold standpoint, whatever you do that modernizes that design could be used with other characters later for repaints. There's a Brawn just sitting in that mold easily. Not obviously a G1 Brawn. People would probably want something much more, loyal to that design. But there's definitely something going on there. And also, not to mention, that original Overhaul toy, absolutely terrible. I hated the articulation on that. Anytime you try to pose it in any way outside of just what is the general expected transformation, Those arms just pop right off. I mean, he's a really cool character in the show. He was kind of this like little Wolverine character. He was short. He had the claws. You know, like I truly feel that was intentional in a lot of ways, and it just never became anything good with that character afterwards. You know, it's such a weird design, and of course he became Leo Breaker later, aka Liger Jack. But you know, I would like an updated version of him. It'd be kind of cool. And again, you could get that trademark back, and you could use that sculpt. You know, a Jeep SUV in Transformers. There's so many that you could retool into that afterwards. So pretty easy one. Another one we have here is, and this is another one. Let's get back that trademark. Evac. Evac, also known as Live Convoy in Galaxy Force. He was the leader of the Earth planet. He was that yellow helicopter. That one, it's hey, you get the Evac trademark back. You know, you used it with Transformers The Ride for a bit, and then it just kind of fell apart, and you stopped using that Evac trademark. You could bring it back. You could use it with other characters, and you get a helicopter mold, which, I mean, you always need a helicopter mold with Transformers. You could milk it to death with all the other helicopter characters and have some really good fun with that. And just bring back that Evac character. Again, he was kind of like a one and done, kind of just one-shot thing. And it's kind of a shame. I mean, in terms of merch for that character, it's all segmented into the Galaxy Force or Cybertron line. There never was any Evac characters based on that specific one afterwards. And that mold, I mean, geez, it was used for Springer. It was used for Blades in the Universe 2.0 line. Like, there's just so much that, you know, it shows that when you get that mold, you could do anything with it. It was used for Shatterglass Galvatron. You know, it was used for everything. So that mold got a lot of action. You create a Evac toy, you get a lot of action with that mold again, and you get that trademark back. Here's another one, Lugnuts with a Z. That was the orange motorcycle known as Roadstorm in Galaxy Force. One of the more obscure characters, and kind of was the origin of the Lugnut trademark, although with a Z added at the end of it. That one just, you know, hey, you don't want to make a Lugnut character right now. You could just use that one, call it Lugnut. You don't need to put the Z at the end, and then you keep that trademark safe. And hey, motorcycles, there's plenty of motorcycles right now with Transformers. Pick your motorcycle, put that orange, you know, paint scheme and brand new head sculpt, call it Lugnut. At the end of the day, you good to go, and we get an updated Cybertron character. You get to reuse one of those motorcycle molds, and you get to keep that Lugnut trademark alive and well. Everyone is happy. Here's one that is kind of a no-brainer, and sooner or later they got to do it. Vector Prime. Vector Prime. My goodness, why don't we have a brand new Vector Prime figure? He needs one desperately. I mean, it's such a cool design, such a fantastic figure. Like, easily top 5 of the entire Galaxy Force Cybertron line is Vector Prime as a figure. Such a great figure. Unique force chip key. He has that unique key that no one else has, that like planet one that has like the little gears and everything on it. He has the sword. He has the unique Minicon. He just has that unique ancient Cybertron design. Fantastic figure. Fantastic figure. He had a few repaints throughout the years. He had the yellow one, which was like his powered up version. He had his brown one in Universe 2.0 that was kind of like one of the last Autobot kind of homage. Great figure. Fantastic. They used that mold like crazy too. It became Alpha Trion. It became a whole bunch of other things. Again, those Cybertron molds, they saw a lot of action, and as a result, if you remake Cybertron characters, you can look at those repaints that those molds shared back then with their old designs and kind of use them today. And the last one I'm going to cover here is someone who never got a toy from Cybertron Galaxy Force, but should. Let's talk about Signal Lancer. Where is Signal Lancer? Why have we not gotten our Signal Lancer figure? I joked many years ago when we got Animated Prowl as a figure. And Animated Prowl, for some weird reason, and it was only unique to Animated Prowl, he came with this like weapon that was like this mace that had that had a signal light on it. And everyone was like, what is the deal with that? And I was like, oh, maybe it's our Action Master Signal Lancer. That's the closest we'll ever get to a Signal Lancer figure. And but we never got a Signal Lancer figure. And it was almost like Galaxy Force was teasing it, because they showed us that one transformation in the show, aka Cybertron, and it showed that, hey, you know, you kind of take that mud flap toy that existed in Cybertron, also known as Demolishor or Demolishor, in Galaxy Force. Again, not to confuse anyone. Oh, there's the first mud flap, but then it was called Demolisher, but not that Demolisher. Oh, the trademark nutness. But the point is that, like they showed that they took that toy and they show that, it kind of has a similar kind of design and shape, and you could make a transformer out of it that transforms into a Signal Light, and Signal Lancer was born. And unfortunately, this character didn't get much. He got a couple of lines in the show. They showed the transformation. They kind of teased that maybe they could be making a toy, and he never got one. But he just became one of those. We have such a short list now of which Transformers that don't have toys anymore. I mean, we live in a world where it's crazy when you think about it. Transmutate has 3 figures at this point, 3 of them, and Signal Lancer has 0. So hook it up, yo. Where's my Signal Lancer figure? So those are a few that I was thinking of. I mean, there's obviously more that I could add to the list. There's so many other great figures and characters and, obvious ones like, oh, come on, don't you want a brand new Hot Shot based on that Cybertron design? It's so Hot Rod inspired, and it's Excellion repaint. Yeah, of course. But so I kind of wanted to go off the road and check out some of those other designs and those other weird ones there, because there's so much fun stuff that could be done from a lot of those characters and a lot of those designs, but those are the ones that I think. Let me know what you think. Give me your opinion. But, I mean, that's who I would like to see, logically, at this time. It could change next year, the year before that, the year after that, where, times change, trademarks change, they get other stuff, and then it makes more sense. But that's my take. Let me know what you think. Tomorrow is the Hasbro PulseCon 2022. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. We're going to have tons of stuff to talk about, tons of reveals, tons of great information. Be sure to stay tuned at the Transformers Slag podcast. It's going to be hype. Talk to you soon.